Hi, it's Sonia and welcome back. This is going to be a sketchbook tour. This is a altered abstract sketchbook, and yeah, I wanted to do this. I thought I've got a few sketchbook tours to do actually, and I thought this is a good time to do it over the summer holidays. And because I don't know if everyone did see my last video, but I talked about having a little bit of a change of direction for myself. I felt I really needed to have a bit of a, what's the word, sort of try and embrace some digital minimalism if possible in my own way. It's not as much as I'd like it to be, but I'm really trying to just change up my art practice a bit, take a step back from I see myself as an artist. I'm not trying to see myself so much as a content creator. And it's been good. It's been really good. I really have, maybe it's something I could talk about in the future, but I really have no regrets at the moment about like deactivating my Instagram. It's almost the point I think, oh, I should just delete the thing. It's been good getting offline as much as I can. It's not as much as I probably could be, a bit even more stringent about it, because I am on a couple of platforms and I do look at, blogs and some YouTube videos, but I am going to even, I think I've done well to, as it were, take some drastic steps. So I'm just easing into it all gently. But this sketchbook I thought was a good one to do because it's very much, I feel, something that's my own approach to art. Sometimes I think I was starting to feel, as I talked about before, just a little bit, I think I saw it as my duty in some ways, I should do research, what other artists are doing and look at other artists. And but I just think I became a little bit too, I think I wasn't sure what was influencing me or what was my opinion versus other people's opinions. And I don't think there's any harm in sometimes just being a bit more focused. I'm just trying to focus on my own practice, and this I feel is a representative of the way I sort of was the good side of this year in terms of really opening up to playing around with different media, pushing myself as much as possible, not trying to be uninhibited. And yeah, I mean, this book, I didn't work through it in a conventional fashion. I took random pages. Some days I'd go in the middle, then I'd go at the end. I'd come back to pages, and if I didn't like them, I'd add more. I don't even know now if this is done. But it's at the stage where I've put it away for a bit. And it contains really old work that I'd found, and I wanted to rehouse the work, cut it up, and this was a tester paper, and then it became sort of an abstracted, I guess, sort of landscape, and then I've cut it up again, and for me this now works as a sketchbook piece, and it also covers up the text. I really also feel that this was a great sketchbook for me because it's allowed me, and I wonder in some ways actually if working through this the sort of art I was making over the last few months actually was, I wonder if I was questioning how I was consuming work on screens or just, social media, how I was feeling towards it, because I think at some point I wouldn't have felt able to do such simplified, minimalistic like this because you could go and find, I'm sure, maybe anybody can go and do this. I'm not saying this is at all, it's nothing new. There's loads of abstract artists who do very minimal things, but the problem then is if you see so much yourself, if you just scroll through artwork after artwork, you may not, I wondered, like, taking a step back, I more want to make my own versions of these things because I'm not seeing it, so I feel I can then go and do it, if this makes sense. This probably may not make sense, but again, this is part of the reason for me stepping back in some ways, because I just need a bit of time to go off and make some work, I guess, sometimes in private. I'm sharing this because this one I feel is in a state which it has been completed. And I mean, I think a few of these, maybe I did share them as process videos when I was doing Patreon, I don't know. But in general, a lot of this work I made by myself. It was like a sort of a journaling sketchbook. So I just came in and I just allowed myself to get out materials, very to hand materials, oil pastels, crayons, watercolor, like paint worked on this. I'm still not attached to this, but I like, for example, this page, even though you can see all the text, I really liked, there are elements in these pages that I was like, oh, this is sort of a good way of just working things out, for just experimenting and finding ways that I enjoy, like what do I enjoy viewing for myself. And as I say, I'm sure some other artist has probably done, maybe I have, inadvertently, simultaneously. I'm actually reading a book by Naomi Klein, like doppelganger. It's only just started, but that idea of, coincidence is someone who, with a doppelganger, someone who looks exactly the same as you, who exists. Or, but I'm sure, we are people, there's so many artists in the world, maybe simultaneously 2 artists are making something. And yes, I totally, that's the other issue, isn't it? Then people, sometimes there is actual copying going on. But I also, I feel a lot happier at the moment if I limit my consumption of art, if I become a bit more discerning about what I'm looking at. So, and the other nice thing is I'm looking at books again, my own art books. So I'm getting use out of them. And I like this page because I found this bit of paper, I liked that. And then, I stuck on, there's a little bit of collage, but not huge amounts of collage. So I'm not going to say huge amounts about this. I think it's pretty, the process you can see. There's lots of layers. And I have spoken about some of these pages, actually. I think I found out that clear gesso was my friend and was a great way of sort of providing a protective coating, which you could then use as a so you could reuse the work on top of it, because it became a nice working surface. Some pages I don't care for, quite frankly. I could come back in. And some I actually deliberately did try and end it before they were finished. Like I just left that one there. I always like the ones where it looks a bit, those when people tear off posters and there's layers and layers of posters left. And again, really embracing the simplicity. I think I felt allowed to do it more in this sketchbook because it was like $1 or $2, and there was already, it wasn't a blank page, so it didn't feel like, what have I done? I've just covered a good bit of paper with a few marks, like 2 things. It just seems to make sense. Like I really like this spread. Sometimes I think I got old pieces and I just went on them again and again. Like this is built up over scraps of little bits of card on top of this blue paper. And I've obviously come on top with some white. Here I just cut out a section of a work on paper I liked. Sometimes if I didn't, collage I don't think I'm definitely using collage more. Oh my gosh, I even used like the wrappers of crayons when I was, I like to, if I don't like a section, because under there I think it was it just seemed harsh. So then I covered it up with this brown piece of, there was these brown bits of, I think the kids had some leftover crafting papers. I think this was for like making stained glass, in which they didn't seem to want to do. So I was like, okay, I'll take that. Sometimes I can remember, I haven't dated this book. I didn't feel the need to date it because I like the fact, to my mind, it is open-ended. It could be an ongoing project. It's put aside for now, but I could come back to it. But I do know, I can look at pages and I know mentally where I was at, be it frustrated, calm, tired, looking at the circle here, trying to look internally. I still have a lot of a few old doodles from, these are from a few years ago when I remember when I was homeschooling the kids, and I'd sometimes just doodle next to them. I always want to, but I forget to write notes. But luckily I did here. I think I said I used the paper as a palette. Then I started using blank pieces of paper for sort of like acrylic wash palettes. And then when I'm finished, I just smear the paper, and I thought these would be fun for just collage paper and for using as a starter for sort of more these sort of experimental abstracts. And then I've tried Caran. This is the number 2 Caran d'Ache on top. This was a funny little one that we got to this stage and I was like, I like that. There's this bit here. This bit, I haven't done this. Oh my gosh, I've got 2 blank pages. Okay, so I will be coming back to this. So this is the only issue, again, when you go randomly through the book, you will, I was then like, well, I've still got all these odd pages to fill in. And I thought I had filled them all in, but obviously not. I still use the kids' old drawings mixed in to my own work. That is definitely, so that's a rearranged work on paper. Oh, sorry. Okay, that is, okay, this is because this has got gloss medium on it, and I've had to put something in to stop it sticking together. But I actually really like the texture here. I like the glossiness, and under here is some of the kids' old math books, the graph paper, and it's, I don't know why, it's really finished it off for me. I don't know if the shine shows as I'm flicking through. I've shown this one before, but it's one of my favourite spreads. Yeah, I really got into trying out some of the gloss medium as a sort of a finishing, varnishing coating, I guess. This is clear gesso. Okay, this will need a, uh-oh. This was when I did the experiment where I sort of shed sort of hard pastels onto water and then picked it up with paper. And then I found that the way to fix it, because I love the effect, it's sort of accidental. I had no control over it really, and so I used clear gesso. But I can tell that I'm going to have to, it's going to stick together onto this piece. This style I also ended up really enjoying. I think there was something rather, I've always preferred, if I change sometimes I want, but I think I tend to go for I like curves if I'm gonna make shapes, not so much triangles or sharper lines. So yeah, I went from like busy to and here I've just been layering, you know, trying to experiment with what pens can go on top of other pens. keeping it simple. This I think was Neo Colour 2 shavings, which were made into paint. I found some old, I'd kept some, I don't know, I obviously like them, birthday cards, and that had, you know, the paper cutting. I've rehoused it. Sometimes I'm like, I can't keep this stuff forever. Like, I don't know what I'm waiting for. Maybe I was going to use it as a stencil, but I was like, let's stick it in here. Blotting with acrylic ink. Oh, I even found some of these stickers. I've got this sticker book. One of the pages I did, no, this isn't, it's not that page. That was in another sketchbook. I did right hand and the non-dominant hand and dominant hand drawings, which is always a fun abstract exercise. So yeah, I'm getting to the end of this one. Oh, that was the kids, I think. Or was it mine and I did it with my right hand? That's definitely one of my kids' drawings. Oh, this one was definitely, I needed to get some stuff out. Yep, and this I'm coming towards, these are the final pages. And that is it. So yeah, thank you for watching this video. I hope maybe there's some, I don't know, ideas here. But as I say, this is one of, yeah, I feel like every recent sketchbook, I say one of my favourite sketchbooks. But this definitely is one that I will go to for some ideas, and it's actually been good for me to flick through it, especially because I am consuming less content online myself. So yeah, this was a fun one to do. And I hope maybe there's some ideas for your sketchbook abstract projects in it. All right then, I'll say bye. Thank you.